Welcome back, Flatstick
Oh,
focusers, right? Flatstick focusers. Why'd I say focusers? I don't know.
I'm
That's
not
weird.
sure.
That's a good outtake. Um, how we doing, guys? Parker, how
So
are you, buddy?
that's going to make it into the program at some point. I am doing well, thank you. We have a last minute change of scenery for the
Yeah.
podcast. We both decided we're going to record outside. We're doing it earlier than normal. This is actually fantastic. I like this a lot. I'm out of breath from running around. Uh, but I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Enjoying. I mean, I don't know that you can really see the views. I could try to. I don't know. It's a long. There you go. There's some mountains.
That's pretty
Kind
good.
of. Yeah. So got a good view from the fire pit. That's what I'm sitting beside right now. Doing good, man. I ready for well, one of your favorite weeks of the year, open week, man. You prefer this over I mean, this feels like a sin to say, man. I mean, you prefer this over Masters week.
It is tied for first with the Masters for me, but it is above.
Okay. Okay.
Controversial take, however, it is above the U.S. Open for me. I like the Open Championship better than the U.S. Open. I think it's
Okay.
home of golf. I think it's just the history, everything about it. The U.S. Open's great. Don't get me wrong, but uh, the Open Championship and the Masters are a notch above to me. If I had my choice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I were to rank the majors, it would probably be Masters, um, the Open, US, PGA.
Okay, so
Man,
we're right there
I'm not.
together, pretty much.
And I'm not 100% sure. I know it's not a major. They call it the fifth major. I'm not 100% sure. I don't put the players in between the U.S. Open and the PGA.
Yeah, that's not that hot of a take, I don't think. I mean, I think that's probably pretty accurate for a lot of people. And I get on this topic from time to time. I think the PGA Championship suffers from a lack of identity a little bit. Um, the US Open's firm, fast, hard. The Open Championship's got the history. The Masters has Augusta. And the PGA is just kind of the PGA. And I really wish the PGA Championship would go back to match play. It used to be, if they could make it the match play major, I think it would set it apart in a huge way. It would be something totally different. I know it's not the easiest thing to organize and the easiest thing to show on TV. And you got the PGA professional side of it, but they can still do all that. They might have to have it might be a longer major. It might take 5 or 6 days to complete it, just like the match play does. But I think it would give it a huge boost, and I wish they would do it.
Well, man, when you talk about identity, I mean, even the players has identity. I mean,
Yeah.
when you hear players, what do you think of? You think 17 at Sawgrass. You think possibly three of the coolest finishing holes of a tournament. I mean, not. I mean, there's a lot of cool finishing holes, but I'm just saying they're very memorable. I mean, 16, you got an awesome par five, easily reachable in two, game changer. 17, who knows what's going to happen on that hole. And 18's kind of up in the air too, man. I mean, man, you've got a one shot lead, 10 off on 18. You are far from secured on winning that thing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the PGA just doesn't have that. Um,
Mm,
I think the Ryder Cup is a bigger deal, honestly, than the PGA Championship for the PGA.
yep.
Uh, I mean, I think more people get excited about the Ryder Cup than they do the PGA Championship. So honestly, if you're ranking like golf tournaments complete and you included the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup probably wouldn't be up there. But I mean, I think for a lot of people, the PGA would fall behind all the other majors, plus the players, plus the Ryder Cup. So I
Yeah.
really wish that they would just make it match play. I think that would just give it a whole different energy, and you would have something that would be unbelievable. Like you'd have a club pro that would beat. Like if you seeded it like you did the NCAA tournament, instead of 64, you had 128 players, and the last guy from the PGA Championship that got in played the number one player in the world, and you did it by world rankings or whatever. Like you would have one of those club pros would beat a top 10 or top 15 player in the world, and it would be just awesome to watch.
How many I mean, do you think there'd be upsets like that?
I do. I don't think there'd be many, but I mean, I think there would because it's only one day and it's match play.
Yeah,
It can happen. Like I think it's actually a better opportunity for the club pros, I think, than the 4 days of stroke play. Um,
agreed.
I think
Agree. I don't disagree with that.
Michael Block would have beat a lot of guys probably, but you never know. It's just you'd have those guys that would go on a hot streak and they'd beat a, like I said, top 10, top 15 player in the world, and they might lose the next day to the 48th ranked player in the world, but still, like they'd always have that. I beat Rory head to head at the PGA,
Yeah.
whatever. I just, to me, it just seems like a no brainer. I know the TV money has a lot to do with it, and they don't want to show, two people playing in the final or whatever, but I still think that would be a lot of fun too.
Was that the reason they got rid of the match play like Austin? Was it kind of a TV thing, or was it because I loved that event, man? I thought the course was really cool. I don't know. I enjoyed watching that event.
I did too. I was actually reading something on that recently, and I think there were a few things. Like there was one of the courses that the players really hated, and
Okay.
like some of the big names, at the Tiger was one of them. Like there was one year where like two or three of the really big names skipped the tournament because they didn't like the golf course, and they were maybe trying to like make a point about not liking the golf course and that they should move it. And then there were people that don't like the fact that you could go and you show up and you play one day and you get beat and you had to go home. So then they started the whole like group thing where you played the three players in your group and then like one or two people moved on, so you got more golf. um I don't know. I think it's crazy that we don't have a match play tournament on the calendar right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, it hasn't been replaced. So I mean, I think that's just insane, and I'm sure the people in Scotland think it's crazy because they play so much more match play. um I don't know. I there should be at least one really high profile match play event, and that's what, give it to the PGA, man. Let them do it.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I like match play. Any match play event I've ever played in, I don't know that I've ever won a singles match. Won a lot of team stuff, but man, I love match play because, gosh, I mean, early on, dude, you can get so aggressive. Now it's not fun, but you can get so aggressive.
Yeah, it's a great format. We need more of it for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
So
So,
what's been going on? You told me you had some exciting finds.
man, so we go to this random thrift store on Saturday. We're just driving around. Ashley likes to do a lot of thrifting. She collects certain antiques and stuff, and thrift stores are a great place to find some of that stuff. Um, but anyway, I take my little boy and I'm like, hey man, let's go look at like the toys and the like men's clothes while your mom and sister look in the women's stuff. And he's like, okay, dude. So we walk through. I mean, this place is in the middle of nowhere, and walk through the men's section. There is a brand new. I don't think it's cashmere, but it's a sweater. It's a V-neck. It's like canary yellow Pine Valley sweater with just the Pine Valley logo. It doesn't actually say Pine Valley. So to probably a lot of people shopping there, they have no idea what this is. Dude, it was like $8. So then and it's brand new, man. I can't find a stitch out of place. There's no stain. I mean, thing's flawless. So then I'm like, well, this is crazy. Look through some more stuff, and then they had like a little wall of ties, so, like neckties. So I'm looking through those. Find a Marion, with it's a red tie with the little wicker baskets, and then the year like 1912 or 1922, 1912, something like that. So it's got the Marion logo on it, and it was 25 cents. And
Wow.
again, dude, brand new. There's not a stain on this tie. There's not a stitch out of place. Like who I'm assuming, some local private. I'm assuming, either a pro or somebody donated these clothes, and then the only thing is we hit them when they were like 30 minutes to close, and by the time I found that, it was like 10 minutes to close, so I didn't have more time to like really dig fast.
Yeah, man,
But
that is a great find. I mean, it
yeah,
sounds
I
like
mean,
the members logo for Pine Valley.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think in total it was like $10.25 after like taxes and stuff to get a sweater from Pine Valley and a Marion tie.
Very nice. Very nice. When are you gonna
It's
wear it?
man, I don't know. I've never been a big sweater guy. I'm usually a hoodie or a quarter zip kind of guy, but I might have to wear this. It's pretty cool. It really is cool, and I think it's my size too. Didn't even have a size in it. It's got the tag, and I want to say that the sweater. I'll send you a picture of it, but I think the sweater was either made in Scotland or Italy or something. I didn't recognize the brand on it. But I'll have to shoot you a picture of it, dude. I'm telling you, it's in fantastic shape. I just can't imagine where it came from.
That's funny. What a great find. It's you can find some random stuff like that, and it's just I've multiple times I've had dreams about going to an antique store or something and finding like some old tour pros Scotty Cameron collection that he just donated, and they have like 20 Circle T's in there. I've literally had that dream multiple times.
Does it ever happen?
I probably not. I'm waiting on it to happen, but it is yet to happen. I'm sure it's happened to somebody.
Man, I remember on TCC years ago, there was a guy that found Anthony Kim's Circle T. It was a Newport 2. Found it at a flea market. Guy sold it to him for $25, and it had Anthony Kim stamped in the bumpers.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you find that stuff from time to time. I'm trying to think if I've had any. I'm sure I've had some kind of crazy find, um, or get. Now, one of the putters I'm going to talk about tonight has a similar story, and I can't remember the exact deal, um, but I'll tell it in a little bit. But it showed up at a Goodwill, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
so what did we decide we were going to do tonight? We're going to do a current what's in the bag.
Let's do a current what's in the bag. I think we try to talk a little bit about the Open, some of our favorites maybe that we've picked for this week. Um, Man, I think we just kind of catch everybody up with what we're playing, how often we're playing, how our golf game is, and let's make some British Open picks.
Did you bring anything uh other than your what's in the bag?
I did not.
Okay, I did.
Everything I want to show and tell is in this bag. Well, no, show and tell. I love hearing your stories about stuff.
Okay, well, I did. Sorry, I got off. I got wrong there. So I have probably about 10 putters in my bag right now
Then talk about them.
that were
That's what
not
we're here for.
that were not well, I had 3 in my bag. So I have not touched my bag other than adding a bunch of putters to talk about tonight, but I had 3 in there that we're gonna be part of the next like figure out what the gamer is gonna be because I haven't played enough to find one.
Okay. Have you been back to the putting green with 3 bag full of putters?
No, I'd like to, but I have not.
Okay. All right.
That was a fun day. Uh, I have
So
not.
it's funny. I played this past Thursday at at Waynesville, and I was looking at our it was just 3 of us, but I started it took me a minute, but then I started thinking about the putters that were in the group. And then I had a Circle T, Will had a Circle T, and then his buddy Andrew had a Tour Bettinardi. It's actually pretty cool. It's got like some zombies, I think is what he used to call them, engraved in the cavity. And then it's got this really cool it says Bettinardi Putter Studio, or maybe just Bettinardi Studio, maybe just Bettinardi, but it's in like this really cool, like 50s cafe era looking font, really funky. And then down the back of the neck, it's got like some X's engraved that I guess kind of match the zombie eyes
Yeah.
kind of thing. So really cool putter. I've seen people do it before, and I wish I would have done it, but I just forgot. Is I wanted to lay the flag down, and you see people they'll lay their putters on it, and then you kind of take a group shot of the putters in the group that day. It would have been a really cool shot.
Yep. That was
But
that is a good group. That is a good.
and I started thinking, how often, because it doesn't happen to me often, but maybe I don't play enough golf. I don't know. Maybe I play golf with the wrong people. I don't know. How often do you play in a group where people's equipment, or the putter specifically, is tour or is very unique, or handmade, or custom made, kind of like whether it's a Brandon Matthews, a Cody James, a Coggins, whatever. Like it for everybody in the group to have a tour putter. That might have been one of my top 5 times. I don't know that it's ever happened where everybody in a 3 or 4-some has a tour putter.
Yeah, I would say it hasn't happened very often unless it's like a purposeful like get together of like club junkies
Yeah, yeah.
and like that. But just like random happenings, I don't see it. No, I don't know if I can think of a time other than like if I'm playing with you and like I said, other equipment, purposeful equipment junkies. But
Exactly. I don't know. It kind of all came surreal while we were playing golf, because I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like this, I'm like you. If you go to an event, I expect it. If I go to a Scotty event or a Tyson event or a Connor James event, or any of the guys that throw events, you expect everybody to have some cool putters, but not just a random Thursday morning round.
no, that's very true. That's very true. Uh, yeah, that was probably a fun day. That's a fun place.
It is.
Fun place.
It really is. So, all right, man. Well, I want to hear some putters. I want to know what's in putter wise. What 3 are we considering right now?
Okay, so the three that were in heavy consideration right now. Let's see. Let's just go. I'm gonna go oldest to newest, I guess.
Oldest that you've owned, or
Oldest that I've
oldest
owned.
in production year?
I'll just go oldest that I've owned.
Okay,
Go Catamounts.
go Catamounts. Oh,
Tour issue. Sabertooth with the different insert. I don't know what that insert is.
do we know what insert that is? Is that the white ice insert?
Maybe. I don't know, but it's a good question because it's got the black. It's got the black Odyssey logo. It's supposed to be an XG, so it's supposed to have the little dimply insert or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one has the flow neck with the different insert. It's got the dot alignment.
Ooh, the 2 dot. I don't know that I've ever seen. I don't know that I've ever paid attention to that. That normally it's a 3-dotter.
That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever really thought about that too. I'm trying to think if I've seen any others that have
I
two.
don't know that I've ever seen a 2 dot.
That's interesting.
That is
That's going to make me think about it. Blacked out Pingman grip that is on crooked, but I like it because it's turned to the left, so it keeps my grip a little bit weaker and
okay.
it's harder to pull it. I kind of like it, so I'm not changing that. Like
Okay.
this putter is going to be around for a long time.
2 questions. Tell me the backstory on it. Do you remember where you got it, when you got it, maybe who you got it from?
I think I bought it on eBay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to think, is that one of the ones that I got?
No, you had it before Jim's collection.
No, I was trying to think if I got it. I got 2 putters from a guy who used to play on tour, and it was a Rife.
I remember that one.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
You
then,
still have that?
yes, I do. I love that putter. And I'm pretty sure it was an Odyssey with a funky insert, but I don't think it was that one. I think it had a DFX insert. It was another putter that had a DFX insert that wasn't supposed to, or something like that. I don't think it was that one. So I think I should know, but I can't remember exactly where I got that one.
Now, the other question is, Odyssey on their tour putters, right below the grip, will do a clear, like, shaft band, kind of notating that it's tour.
Yep.
Now, somebody brought up the question at work this week, because we've got a couple of tour issue Odysseys coming up in a release. Actually, one of them was apparently Shane Lowry. Did they also put that clear shaft band under the grip?
Yeah, so I found that out. I think I showed it maybe on one of our shows, one of our episodes.
Okay.
Um, I have a Tour 2 ball that was owned by Roger Clemens, and it does have the Tour ID label right here. And then I
Okay.
pulled the grip because it had a grip that was just falling apart and nasty. I pulled the grip, and it has another long, like long ways shaft band that has a barcode, almost like they could scan it and would just pull up the specs real quick. And it had the
That's kind of cool.
same serial number as this sticker. So this one could have it underneath this grip. I don't know, because sometimes people
Interesting.
pull the shaft band, so you wouldn't know, like you couldn't find out which players it was or something like that. But if they didn't know there was one under the grip, it could still be under there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Okay. Well,
touching this thing.
do what?
I'm not touching this thing though.
Okay.
This is one of those putters that like it's instant when I set it down. It brings back good memories because I putted well with it.
Okay. Okay. All right. What else we got? What's the second longest one you've owned?
The second longest one I've owned, I can't remember. I guess it would be this one. This one performed very well. It's really hard for me to get all these out of my bag right now. This one performed really well in the latest putter testing.
Oh,
Is that reading the right way to you?
yes. And that's kind of the font that I was talking about on the Betty. I kind of call that like Cafe's 50 font.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It's a cool head cover. Um, so
Oh,
it's got my daughter's initials on the bumpers, kind of a Tiffany-ish blue paint fill. My initials,
wow.
round flow neck, black shaft, black line on top,
Smooth face, right?
good face. I did it and got it made in 2020, and the model is a PR1, which just happens to be my initials, which is pretty cool. I like that. Um, yeah, smooth face. If you can see that.
His
Black
logo's really
shaft.
good too, like the green with the flag.
Yep, yep. It's really nice, and it makes like a big C. The green does, and
Yeah.
the little F.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice. Black shaft. I bought a bunch of these. Danny Edwards. You remember the Cameron Pebble grip? It's a Pebble grip,
Yes.
a little different shape, I think, than the Cameron one, but it's got a Mizuno logo on.
Yeah.
I bought these on eBay and just put it on this putter, and this putter feels so nice. I wish I could get a good like
Length.
34, I believe.
It
Really,
looks like there's quite a bit of offset to that too. Do you like a lot of offset on your putters?
I do. I like a full shaft,
Okay. Okay.
full shaft to a full shaft plus, and this is pretty much right on a full shaft.
Okay. Perfect.
Wait till you see the lob wedge I got. Well, you've seen it. Wait till everybody else sees the lob wedge I
Oh
got.
yeah.
About offset.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one. So these are like my three. Like right now, these are like my feel gooders. Like the ones that I just when I set them down and I put them behind the ball, I'm just like, yeah, this doesn't feel like I'm searching. This feels like it should be in the bag.
Mm. Okay. Have I seen this one?
Yes.
Oh. Oh man. That thing was a heartbreaker at Sweetens when we played, dude. You made everything. The hole had to look the size of the green to you.
Well, what's funny about this putter is it was one of multiple that I brought. And dude, this grip, I don't know what this grip is. It is some
It's
ionic.
ionic.
Yeah. It's some ionic grip, but it's a different shape than any other ionic grip I think I've ever had.
Okay.
I can't figure it out. It's the back like doesn't really have a spine. It's kind of more flat back here. Um,
Okay.
it may be built up with some different wraps. I love this thing. But anyway, that day at Sweetens Cove was the first time I'd ever brought this putter out. And
Yep.
I like I wasn't a dot guy typically. And I'm like, I'm just gonna bring
Or plumber's neck.
yeah, and probably a plumber's net guy at that time either. And I'm like, I'm gonna bring it out. My bag looks like it's about to collapse right now. It's got so many clubs in it. Um, made the first putt with it. It was like a 20
Yeah.
footer 30.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I mishit it. Like I felt like I shanked it. I hit it so far on the heel and it still went in. And I was like, ooh, baby. Got a big sound slot in it. Makes that nice noise you like.
It gives me chills, man. Now,
Yeah,
what was I going to ask? I was going to ask you something. Okay, obviously you got the fence, you ordered it, you got the Byron from the collection you bought, right?
correct. Yep.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. That Iomic grip, does it feel more like a mid-size or does it feel like a standard?
I think it feels a little bit closer to mid-size, honestly.
Okay. Do you prefer a little bit bigger putter grip? Because I'll be honest, man, you went, I think, yeah, I mean, I know you pulled the putters out from oldest to newest, but I think you went grip size because you've got a Ping Man on the Odyssey, which you can't get smaller. I mean, it's pretty much like a tape layer between the shaft. And then you went, to the Mizuno, which I have one of those, and they're not very big. And then you went to the midsize. I like it.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I tend to like a semi, like I don't know if you'd call it a semi round, but like I like the flatter back. I don't like a big spine in the back. So I like
Okay,
kind of
so
round, more like a paddle, I guess. So like round in the back, flat in the front.
okay, so you really don't like a spine going up the back.
Not, I mean, I don't prefer it.
Okay, okay, makes sense. Okay, um, here I'll tell you what, we'll just do kind of what's in the bag as we go along. How's that?
Okay.
So, um, this chair is gonna fall with this bag. Um, recent pickup. Also, another recent pickup. Got them yesterday. I was actually able to acquire probably my favorite set of head covers to date. And I was able to get one of every color stitching in the Serape swags.
Mm,
They did like obviously this is like a neon orange. They did a pink, a rainbow, like a Tiffany blue, like a cobalt blue, I think a purple. There's eight. I think there's eight in total that they did different stitching. So, um, a guy on the Facebook page, he had the whole collection, and he was basically offering. So I was able to sell. I think I sold like 10 covers to get it, but it was well worth it. And you know me, I don't normally sell covers, but this was kind of a must have for me. So
yeah, that's
so
cool.
anyway, there it is. And it's very similar. And well, I shouldn't say so. What I like about this is everyone is different. So even if it's got the same color stitching here, they didn't use the same fabric for that stitch. Like, so everyone is unique. So however many, two, three, four, 500, whatever they made, they're all unique, which I really, really like.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, there it is. It's, Swag Skull. Um, so, but for the main attraction, this is the new gamer. I don't know if, is that
Woo!
correct on your end? It
It,
looks backwards on
yeah,
mine.
it's correct.
Okay. Okay. So kind of unique sightline here. You typically will see a Del Mar with the whole line going in the flange, but little top line, and then there's the face, and
Mm,
then absolutely clean sole. I mean, there is nothing on this sole. So, um, head weight is like bordering 352 grams. So a little heavier, which I like.
nice.
You actually gave me this grip. I put it on the putter. It's the Rose Mark. I really, man, I don't know if you can see like the shape of this grip,
Funky.
but it feels so good. Maybe I like a little bit of a rib in the back
That
because
would shock me
the
because
way
I don't, so you would.
the the way that I interlock, because I kind of interlock in the middle here and I've done that for years. And it kind of puts my hands a little closer together.
Hmm.
But the rib, man, it just fits like right there. I mean, just right in here. It fits so well. So maybe I like a little bit of a rib. Maybe I should start playing ribbed putter grips.
Perhaps.
But anyway, new gamer, man. I'm totally in love. I mean, this is like there's not many of these out there. I mean, especially lefty. I mean, you see a few Del Mar tours, pop up in the righty world, but this was brand new, man. The guy got it brand new from Cameron, and it never hit a putt. He had never stroked a putt with it. So
Wow.
now yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was a good deal, man. I mean, I worked it out kind of through a third party, and yeah, it worked out. I mean, it was pretty much just collecting dust for him, and I think a lot of people. I'm in the boat for putters, not necessarily covers, but if I'm not going to use it or game it, then I'll get rid of it. There's nothing that I own putter wise, Parker, that I won't let hit the putting green. Do you want to know what I actually putted with before this came in? I actually brought it out for a little bit, just maybe like one round.
Not the 009M.
No, it was the Napa.
The Tour Napa?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't remember if I played around or just took it to the putting green, but I wanted to roll it because I really like the way it looks. I love that putter.
Have you not really gamed the Napa very much?
Man, I played so when I first got it, actually, yeah, I probably gamed it for 4 to 6 months, I'd say. Like it's probably got 20 rounds on it. So
Okay.
yeah,
And all right, how'd that go?
I mean, I love it. I mean, it's different when you go from like a plumber's neck blade or um, even looking at this kind of a mid mallet almost to the skinny little Napa, man. It's different. It is wild. It's crazy how your eyes can not play tricks on you, but like I feel like they drastically change things, and maybe it is a big drastic change, but man, when you first set it down, you're like, holy smokes, the head's smaller than the ball. I mean, it really does visually look like that. And the one thing I like about these kind of hill shafted putters, similar to the Napa, similar to the Del Mar, and even like the Circa 62, and like a Studio Design one, it's something about the way the net goes in, and it almost, I know this is going to be very strange, but it almost looks like it cups the ball. It almost looks like it hugs around the ball where the sweet spot is. So I don't know. I'm just a big fan of them. This putter was a long time waiting for me to try to find, and just very happy that I tracked it down.
That's a really cool putter. I can see why. That is a nice pickup. And it's funny you say that about the Napa. I was talking to you earlier about I was watching that match between Grant Horvat and Phil Mickelson. In the video, Phil he was talking about how he has his own rule book when he plays, and you can bring as many clubs as you want. You can switch clubs whenever you want. So he had two putters, and he had the one he called the Tiger Slayer, which was his 8802, the
Hmm.
Odyssey XG version,
Yep.
and then he had a Lab Mallet. Those were the two putters that he had.
Really?
Couldn't get more different hardly with a graphite shaft,
Gosh.
and so those are the two putters he was using in the match, which was pretty interesting.
The Tiger Slayer. That's an interesting term.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what's next?
Let's move to wedges.
Okay.
People need to, I don't know how you're going to capture this, but people really need to witness this offset on your lob wedge.
Yeah, the lob wedge is special. I love it. I really want to get another one made. I wish I could get Aaron Dill to make me another one. Okay. So my 52, which has been bent to 50, is a tour issue
Okay.
14 raw RM Coach E stamped on it, which is not me.
Who is Coach M? Can you discuss who that is or
Yeah,
who you think it is?
supposedly it's Harris English's dad that these were made for.
Okay. Did
So
he coach a sport like basketball or
he
anything?
must have. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I may have another one, like a 58 that's got it as well. Um, I just really like 14 wedges a lot. I really like the shape of them. They're a little more round, like the older Vokies used to be. They started kind of squaring off the Vokies a little bit, which I'm not as big a fan of. So I really like
Mm.
round, which I know you don't. So that is my 52 that's bent to 50. Right now, I'm using this raw. This is a different 14. It's the RM, what is it, 21 raw,
Okay.
14 or 54-degree stock. I haven't bent it. Typically, I would like to have a 56 that I've been down to 54 to add some offset just because I like that look. But this was in the closet, so I was trying it. You put a new grip on here for me because it had some big chunky thing on it. I really like this CP2. This is the Pro
Man,
Mod Wrap.
since you tried the CP2, you've been hooked, haven't you?
Yeah, they're just I like the fact that they're tacky. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they feel real tacky to me. I like the wrap too. I just kind of got these on my irons, and I just kind of liked them just because they feel really tacky. Now this lob wedge does not. It's got this. What is it? The V55, which this is a great grip too. This thing feels awesome. But okay, so this is the first the first edition of the New Groove spin mill. Spin mill. I
Okay.
say that every time. Spin mill. The spin mill. So this is like the SM3, I guess technically is kind of
Okay.
what this is, because this was the
Okay.
first of the new grooves that has the CC where they did that condition of competition stamp on the thing, and then the saw was gold to be legal.
Okay.
CK made for Cliff Kresge. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that crimp in the
Yes.
bottle where it's been bent?
Yes.
So I know you've seen this wedge, but like it's like a gooseneck lob wedge. So you can
It's so
see
crazy.
all this offset that's been bent into it. And the thing that it does for me is it makes it look so easy to hit like little soft shots around the green or flop shots or whatever, because it's just so easy. It just sits so nice when you open it up. It lays back so easily.
Yeah.
So flop shots and like little half pitch shots around. I mean, you can see like that how nice that thing just sits right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love this thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do when the grooves go bad on it. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to you about trying to do this.
How wore out are the grooves?
Not worn out really at all.
Okay.
It's still got lots of life left in it because I don't play much golf. So honestly, I don't even know the specs on this. It's supposed to be a 6007. I have no idea what the loft is. I don't think I did anything to it. I don't think we bent it strong. It sits nice. Normally, I like my wedges to be real flat. Um, and this one sits pretty nice. So we may have bent it flat. I can't remember. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, those are my three wedges. Raw. I like raw. I don't really like black. I like to be able to see the grooves for some reason. I don't know. I just black wedges and black irons for some reason. I really like the look of them, like from the back, but when I'm playing with them, for some reason I don't really like them as much. So I either go black. I'm sorry. I either go raw or satin with wedges. I can't stand chrome.
Okay.
Um, I would definitely go black before I would go chrome.
Okay.
And part of me thinks chrome wedges don't spin like the others, even though that's probably not true. And there's my
This bag is a nightmare.
dude. You ought to see mine right now. Look at this. Here's a view for the people.
Okay. So let's see. So I did a little research on my wedges. I had the Raws, I guess the new ones. Well, the Opus is getting ready to drop. I don't know if you've seen those, man. They look really good.
I did see those. A lot of excitement behind those. I
There
guess
is.
Roger Cleveland's last wedge, so it's like his opus, and that's why they're called opus, is what I heard.
Oh, I didn't realize it was Roger's last wedge.
Yeah, I think so. Or Roger's last wedge with Callaway, maybe.
Okay, okay. Wonder who they'll get.
That's a good question. Wedge Wizard's working for them now, so
I
maybe
know. Could be the replacement then,
could be.
because I'm sure Cleveland has probably taught him a thing or two, if I had to guess.
I would say probably so.
Okay, so we'll go in order here. So first wedge is a 52, bent to 50. So yeah, sorry, go back. Had the Raws, really like them. I actually really, really like them, but found these. So these are the Jaws MD5s. So the previous gen. And man, I got them out and I was just like, gosh, these look so good. So I don't know if you can see that here. Let me zoom my screen in here. They're stamped. They've got like some little bubbles in there. I've got Ashley's name stamped in it. Did a little bit of paint fill on them. Obviously, a Serape Ferrell. I'm a big Ferrell guy like you, Parker. But 52 bent to 50. I typically will play a 50, 54, 58 combo. Sometimes I'll bend the 58 to like a 59 or something, but typically you're going to find a 50, 54, 58. Next one, again, kind of same stamping, stamp my little boy's name in it. 56 bent to 54, Serape Ferrell. Have the spinner shaft in these, which I'm really starting to enjoy. They it doesn't feel, you remember the old spinner shaft had the kind of the narrow section right in here? It feels a little different than that. I have a couple of those shafts and I thought they always looked so cool.
Yeah.
I think you had a couple of them, didn't you? And some wedges.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. And then my 60s, the high toe, uh, did all kinds of crazy like stampings in it and some paint fill, but it's still got the bubbles.
That's
Do
another
what?
place where I can't convert to the high toe full face groove wedge. I've had a couple, and dude, it is a mental block for me. I feel like when I look down that they have about 75 degrees of loft on them, and I feel like I hit it 20 yards shorter.
Really?
Something
No,
like that. Yeah,
I had the 58 in the raw and I love the way it looked. I mean, it's so traditional, but there again, like one day I was just kind of tinkering around my golf room and I'm like, oh man, like I kind of forgot that I had a full toe. And as soon as I set it down, it looked so good to me.
Mm.
So I took it to work and funny enough, I checked my lofts and lies and it was kind of early on when we were first learning our Mitchell machine. And so it actually was sitting at like 56 or 55 degrees. So it was quite strong. And that makes so much sense looking back now. But I've played a couple rounds since rebending them and they're perfect. I mean, I really, really do like these wedges. The full toe, I will say though, takes a little bit of getting used to. If you've never played a full toe wedge and you just go grab one, it may take you a day or two to get used to the way it looks. I know for you, you still struggle with it, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, I like the idea. It makes a lot of sense because you have a lot of toe strikes with wedges when you're, swinging across it with flop shots and bunker shots and stuff like that. But for some reason, the distance, like it's mental. It has to be mental for me. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I just come up and out of it because I'm expecting it to go short or what the deal is. But I feel like I could not get the same distance out of it. And not that you're looking for a bunch of distance on a wedge, but I don't want to lose 20 yards and have to figure that out
Exactly.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's a mental thing, but I just for some reason I haven't gotten into that yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, so moving
All right.
on to irons. I went with this is the first iron set I think I've ever ordered where I had graphite shafts. I wanted to try to pick up some yardage, and that with a combination of the clubs, it really did because I picked up at least a club, if not a club and a half. So I went straight ZX5. So this is the previous gen ZX5. You see my fancy ferrule?
Oh, you got a chrome stripe in there.
Got a silver ring on there. That's how they came. CP2. I got
CP2.
the Recoil ES 780 F4. Really like these irons a lot. Like probably, I'd say top 3 iron sets I've ever had. Um, I mean, I really
Trying to
like.
think about it. I know one other iron set that you would put up there, and that's the Rack LTs. I'm trying to think of the third one you might throw up.
Yeah, Rack LTs were really good. I had a set of Nike Vapor combos that I really liked, actually.
Okay.
Um, which I guess they're kind of like artisan. I mean, it's the same guys, I guess, kind of
Yeah.
that are doing artisan. Um, those were really good. And I had a set of Bridgestone that I really liked. But these overall, like performance and everything, these are between, it would be these and the Rack LTs are the best sets I've ever had.
Okay.
So the only thing that I wish I would have done, I ordered them 5 through pitching wedge, and I got the 4 iron in the
Hmm.
ZX utility, which unfortunately just does not work for my. It just does not work for me. I don't work for it. It doesn't work for me. We don't get along. Oh, my bag's about to collapse. Oh, not good. Okay, me and yeah, so me and this club do not get along. We still don't get along. Um, it's gotten better. You bent it for me, and it
Mm-hmm.
helped a little bit, but I'm pretty shallow with my irons. Um, really, I'm pretty shallow with everything except for maybe my wedges. But like uh, woods and irons, I'm pretty shallow. So my bag is like literally about to fall. Um, so this wide sole, no bueno for me. Like
Yeah.
I hit everything so thin with this club. Oh, sorry, Smoke. Hit the dog. This is a great. This is a great club for a lot of people. Scotty Scheffler has a Strixon utility iron that he obviously seems to work pretty well. A lot of people really like utility irons. Clearly, I'm just not made for this. I much prefer the standard 4 iron or some kind of like higher lofted hybrid. So I'm gonna
Okay.
do something on this because it is really I have no confidence in it really. And again, it's not the club, it's me, it's my golf swing. It just doesn't work for that club. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna replace that. And I'm not sure
Okay.
with what. I'm probably just gonna try to I don't know if I'm gonna try to find a 4 iron or if I'm just going to get some kind of hybrid that's like a high lofted hybrid that I can find and fill the right gap. Um,
Now, which shafts did you go with? You went with the recoil, it was like the smack wraps.
it's a 7.
Um,
I have no idea what that means, but yeah, the 780 in it's the recoil ES 780 and it's the F4, which is stiff.
okay. Stiff. Okay. How much distance do you think you picked up with that combo
At least 10 yards. At
per
least.
club?
Yes.
Wow. That's game. I mean, that's a full club.
Oh, it's like a total game changer. Because now, I mean, like I felt like I had decent distance with my woods and my wedges. But like when I would be playing with people, like I would be like, they hit their irons so much further than I do.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm pretty shallow with the irons. I don't compress it a lot with the irons, which helps me with the driver because I hit fairly significantly up on it with the driver, which helps me get the distance. With the irons, I'm not really compressing it that much. So
Okay.
I'm not, I think that's probably where I'm missing out on some distance. So I think combination of the club and the graphite shaft has helped me out a lot, and I'm at least 10 yards.
Wow. So that's kind of everybody's cue. If you're struggling with a little distance and, the shaft's maybe too heavy or you're still in steel, maybe try some graphite. I tell people that a lot. And graphite, I'm sure just a generational thing or something, man. It had that persona or that not the persona, the claim, everybody thought it was a senior's shaft. But man, now dude, they can make They can make graphite heavier than steel. They can make it stiffer than steel. They can make it, I mean, they can completely change launch conditions. They can make it lighter than steel, but stiffer than steel. There is so much technology that they can do with graphite iron shafts now. Man, it is passing steel like crazy.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. And the thing I like about graphite, especially for a guy like me, because I've tried them and I've thought about going back to them, man. Every day, I'm not kidding, every day I did it today. I want to throw an Axiom in one of them and just try it. I'm thinking like a 105 stiff. Man, you know me, I love going to the range. But man, the older I get, the more still, dude, I'm hurting when I leave a range session. I mean, I'm out there trying to pound 2, 3, 400 balls. I'm fatigued. Graphite doesn't. I had some Fuji Pros in a couple sets, actually several sets of irons. Man, I just did not get beat up like that. Like it feels better on you too. I know that's crazy, but man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of benefits to people trying graphite.
Yeah, I agree. I think they feel good. Like I don't, a lot of people think you like lose feel or they don't like the clicky feel of graphite. I like the feel of these. Like I'm sold. Like I honestly don't think I will go back ever to steel shafts in my irons. Like I don't
Yeah.
I think I won't like the feel as much, especially on mishits. Like and that's where like I want shots to feel good. Obviously, like you want to hit them solid, but like the mishits feel better, which is nice. Um, and like I said, I mean, I sound like an infomercial. You hear all those, oh, you gain 10 yards, and you never really do. But like, I have legit gained a full club minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, why not? Who cares what you're hitting? I mean, when you roll in and you've shot a 70 and they've shot an 80, but they're hitting still like, I mean, man, golf is such an ego game. I mean, it's just you got to put your ego aside and play what's best for you. And if that's graphite, go to graphite. I don't care if you're 19 years old and you're listening to this and you're like, no, I'm not. Man, I'm telling you, try it. Just try it. That's all I'm asking. And I swear you'll see a game changer in it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, okay. Irons right now, man, irons could change every day. Irons to me are like underwear. I change them every day. Um,
I
Currently
feel like
though,
for everybody else in the world, irons are like maybe not everybody, but irons are like the one thing that I feel like once you get dialed in, it's like the hardest thing to change. That
and
and
the thing that I've changed the least are my wedges. Like probably what everybody changes the most are what I change the least.
yeah, that's
Um,
it. You change your 3 wood a lot because once you find a good 3 wood, you don't want to change it either.
exactly. So currently gaming the here, let me blow my screen back up here. Currently gaming the Apex MBs, Serape Ferrell. I did go, man, I've tried this shaft now. It's the Project X. Actually, let me turn it this way. Uh, Project X 60120s. It was
LZ,
crazy to
right?
me because do what?
The LZs, right?
The LZs. I'm sorry. Yeah, LZs. Um, it was crazy to me though. I had S4s in them and they were so heavy. I mean, man, truthfully, I was a club and a half short of my other set of my TCBs that have, I think I've got C taper lights in them. But man, you're talking 20 grams of weight in the shaft. And I didn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but it did. I mean, dropping 10 grams in this shaft, dude, it's like 10 yards. I swear it, the lighter that I keep going, it's like the more benefits that I'm seeing out of it.
Wait till you go.
So, well, like I said, I'm really tempted. Axioms are they're kind of hard to get right now because they're just in such popular demand. But I think once Fuji catches back up, I may have to throw some Axioms in. I'm not hearing anything bad out of these shafts, and I'm dying to try them. One thing funky thing I kind of did. I'm an MCC guy, usually a one, maybe perhaps. But to match the ferrule, I kind of did like every other club has the orange like in between the white. So little different, little different. Didn't know I would do that. And truthfully, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't have enough blue and whites to finish the set. And then I had these orange ones laying. So I was like, well, I'll go in between. So like every other club has the orange one.
Nice. That sounds like the
So,
yeah, I know.
and this is the other thing, and this is funny that it gets people is this year Callaway decided on the pitching wedge to do a
Oh,
10.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't mind that.
I don't mind it either, man. I swear to you, Parker, I have got more comments on what's a 10 iron than you honestly would believe. You would shock you at how many people has approached me that has looked at my equipment and said, "What's a 10 iron?"
They did it for tax purposes.
They did it for tax purposes.
We'll go ahead and tell you right now. I like that so much better than putting the loft on the actual pitching. I got no problem with the loft being on my wedges, but on the pitching wedge that matches the set, for some reason it bothers me.
Okay.
It shouldn't, because it's no different than the wedge, like my wedges that say 52 that I've got bent to 50. I don't know why. It's a weird thing of mine.
All right, man.
Do woods next. Do all the woods.
Yes.
Okay, so I experimented. Sorry, I'm having to multitask now because my bag's trying to fall over. So
Can you lay it down?
it's on concrete right here. It's not my favorite thing.
Okay. Okay.
Random head cover. Don't know what this is from. Doesn't really fit on this club, but I was trying to keep it from getting banged around. I tried an experiment. So I have this Strixon ZX 3 hybrid,
Yep.
19 degree, with a KBS Tour hybrid prototype, 85 stiff.
Okay.
So at the time, they did not make this club in any loft lower than 19. And I needed a little bit more distance. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this like long. I'm going to add like 3/4 of an inch, I think is what I did, because I wanted to play more like a 17-degree hybrid. So I tried that. I like the hybrid. It didn't really work from a distance perspective. I don't feel like I hit it any further. I just feel like I hit it higher.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a failed experiment, but I still hit it so much better than like the 4-iron. So that's the hybrid. Like I said, I like it. Probably just need to cut it down to standard length because it's just kind of long. Let's see. 3-wood, oldie but a goodie. Best one I've ever owned, bar none. Built by
Well, it's because you let me do some work to it.
built by People's Golf. So I originally bought it from People's Golf, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
You did. You did.
So it's the TaylorMade Jet Speed. It's the prototype. So it's got the full face scoring lines. It also had that deal where the stickers made the face rust on all these clubs, which is kind of cool, really. It looks pretty cool. So somehow it's got a dent in it. I don't know how, but it doesn't really matter to me. But when I first got it, I kept hitting it left, and that's just not my typical miss left. First of all, it's got this Tour Velvet on it that I swear it's stretched a little bit, so it
Yeah.
feels skinnier than all my other grips. But like I'm not touching this thing. I love it. So it had y'all put this shaft in it that I didn't know anything about at the time. The Tour SPX, the VTS from UST Mamiya 70
Yeah, and I
stiff.
think that's the white, which is it was an unbelievable shaft.
Yeah, this thing is so good. So I had an issue hitting it left, and that's just not something I do. Like I mean, I'll hit it left, sure, on occasion. I'll hit a pull or a pull hook or something, but like this was consistent. Like when I hit it good, it was overdrawing almost, and I don't like that at all. So I reached out to G and I was telling him about it. He's like, "Well, why don't you let me throw some hot melt in it?" So you took the weight out and put a different weight in the sole.
I did. Yeah, I changed the color of the weight, and
Yeah.
then ended up throwing about. I mean, I tried to spread it even from the face to kind of the middle of the back of it, but I threw about 5 grams of hot melt in the extreme toe on that.
Yeah, and it was a total game changer. So how long have I had this 3-wood now?
Man, so you had that when you worked at Laurel Ridge as the assistant. That's when you got it.
Really?
Yes. Yes, I remember. I remember you sitting behind the counter telling me that Will was bringing you a Jet Speed 3-wood.
Dude, so that's been like 11 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
So there's a I need to put my rescue mid back in the bag. It's the best hybrid I've ever had. It's the old school TaylorMade hybrid too. Like I need to put that back in the bag. And this is the best 3 wood I've ever had. And like I have no desire really to change it. I mean, I would hit others just to see if I hit them as good or hit them further or spin them better or whatever. But like I pretty much know what I'm gonna get out of this. And I can't believe I've had it that long. And I mean, I've gamed it for most of that time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, like you said, man, when you can find a good 3 wood, dude, it's so hard to change. It's so hard.
yeah, it's not a distance club really, so there's no real point in changing it. Um,
Now, are you a big 3 wood guy off the tee? Or are you pretty much solely hitting it out of a fairway on like a par five?
I'll hit it off the tee, sure. I mean, I don't hit as many 3 woods as a lot of people because I feel like
Yeah.
the driver is probably one of the better parts of my game. So I probably hit more drivers. Um, so right now I've got this driver. This was another experiment. I had it super long. What was it?
47 and a half.
Yeah, 47 and a half. I tried that to see what that would do distance wise. And I think it definitely I think I definitely did pick up distance with it, but I was obviously wilder than I typically was. It is definitely getting dark out, isn't it?
It is getting dark. I
Um,
just noticed that.
so we cut yeah, you cut it back down for me to 45 and 3/4 maybe.
I think we went either 45 and a half or 45 and 3/4. It was one or the other.
Yeah, so Strixon ZX5, the Mark II. This is the 8.5 LS low spin. I just played on standard, and it's got the Ventus Blue 6 stiff, which I really like. This has been a really good driver. The shape's good, the sound is good, distance seems to be pretty good. I haven't. I'm weird about drivers. Like if I find it, I don't change drivers very much.
No.
I probably should more than I do, but like I'll keep drivers like a generation or two or three. Um, I should probably change more because I feel like I would pick up some different stuff. But I really like this driver. This has been a good driver. You know, I haven't really tested it against much, but for me, like it hits the windows that I wanted to hit, like ball flight wise. And anyway, there's my woods.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's getting pretty dark, but hybrid. Let me go ahead and blow this back up. Hybrid is, I don't know if we can see that. It's the Apex. It's the Pro. I believe it's 18 degree. Again, Serape Ferrell. Wow, it is getting dark. Um, the shaft, probably not expecting this, is an Aldila. The ripped, the VS Proto. Like, I don't know. I just thought this was a really cool shaft. It's solely in here for looks, but it ended up being a great shaft. Like, I've hit it really well. I like it. It kind of fits the characteristic that I'm looking for. Again, it's kind of got the orangey uh MCC grip on it. But yeah. So, and I bought a UW this year. I'm on staff, but they sent me a UW. Man, it's long. It's too long. It's not a good gap. I mean, 3 wood for me, if it's hit well, is like a 250. I mean, if it's dry, I'm getting 260, 265 out of it. The UW is like 240. So it was just, I mean, I went from 4 iron that, again, dry is 215 to 240. So there was nothing. So I'm kind of in this limbo stage right now between this hybrid and a 18 degree UT, and it's just, I don't know, still experimenting, not fully sold. Right now the AI Smoke Triple Diamond 3 wood with the Graphite Design GP in a 7 stiff. Not 100% sure that this shaft is for me. I'll be honest. The whole reason I put it in this head is because I think it looks really cool. Um, Performance, the verdict's still out. I really like the way a DI feels in a 3 wood, but I like the way the GP looks, so we're gonna roll with that for right now.
There you go.
Also the AI Triple Diamond 9 degree smoke. I've changed the weights. Normally they have blue. This one's got like the gold, and then I think that's like a weight out of hybrid or something, but I was looking for a certain swing weight and had to achieve it. Right now, playing the Aratera, which man, it's a really good shaft. They are battling. Um, well, they're not battling. It's kind of a long story. If you want to read about them right now, you can go to Google. There's a lawsuit going on right now. Um, this shaft may be pretty dang rare here before long, because they've kind of had to halt production on them and stuff. But anyway, if anybody wants to read about that, you can Google it. I think there's articles on it. I think, but I won't really get into that. But that's a 65 stiff. Everything I play is stiff. It's funny if I ever play an X, and I played X for a little while. I just didn't see the benefits from it. I was losing distance and yada yada yada. If I ever do play an X though, it will be in the 3 wood. I have no clue. 3 wood and X works well for me. I don't know why. That is a stiff and it works, but if I change, that would be the one thing I'd change. I'd go to an X. So, um, but yeah, that's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle for me. I
Nice.
was hoping to get into some bag stuff, but I'll be honest, I don't think we can see.
Yeah, we're running out of light. We ran out of light to do the what's inside the bag and all these putters that I brought to talk about. So we'll
I'll tell
have
you what, I think that's a great episode for next time.
well, I'm hoping like we discussed next time is going to be a big one for us. Why don't
Oh,
we
that's
just
true.
get into that for a second? Let's talk about
Let's
it.
do it. Let's do it. People don't need to see us to hear this.
No. So yeah, sorry if you're watching this on YouTube. Sorry for the darkness, uh, but it's okay. We're not here for much longer.
I
So
can I can take my hat. Well, I was hoping the shininess of my head would kind of
my
give me a
glasses.
little extra the gloss, the high buff finish.
Yeah. So tell the people what we got coming up.
Guys, this is unreal. I'm serious. The two guests that Parker acquired for our next podcast, um, you've got Vogue, the Vogue, Bill Vogney. Is it
Former
Vogue? It is
podcast.
Vogue, right?
Yep. Former podcast.
And I'll let you tell them the other one. It's Geo.
Yep.
But I want you, but you know Geo more than me. That's why I want you to kind of talk about him a little bit.
Yeah. So Gio's gonna come on with Vogue. We're gonna have Scotty Cameron, kind of like a round table discussion. So the four of us just talking Scotty Cameron, early days, current times, future, tour putters, retail, whatever. Um, Vogue, if you don't know, literally wrote a book on Scotty Cameron um, with, I believe, David Levine um, back in the day, which has been an awesome, awesome book. Geo is a PGA professional, longtime Scotty Cameron guy, collector. He buys and sells a lot of putters, tour putters. Gets like lots of Trilliums and stuff refinished, sells those. Just both like founts of knowledge. It is getting remarkably darker. Um, both really big founts of knowledge as it relates to the Scotty Cameron world, which is obviously like, a huge part of the putter collecting world. Vogue's
Mhm.
been on before. If you're also not familiar, Vogue recently took a position with Golden Age Auctions as like a Scotty Cameron, as their Scotty Cameron expert in house. He ran a Scotty Cameron only auction recently. Just, the foremost authority on Scotty Camerons. I'm sure there are some others that would be up there, but Vogue is, he's out there more. You hear a lot from him. He educates people. Real Camera Collectors is one of his Instagram handles. Just really excited about these two guys because they're longtime friends. Um, they've known each other for a long time. They've both agreed to come on. So anyway, we're really excited about this. We're going to post some stuff on it about it on our Instagram page. Please send us questions that you have as it relates to anything Scotty Cameron, or anything related to Vogue or Geo or us. Geo actually was a putter maker as well. Palombi putters, which I have some of those that I bought in the collection. They're really pretty. He did a lot of like answer style. He called it, I think they were the 389 was the model. Really pretty putters. So we can get into that. His history of putter making. So please send us questions or topics that you want us to discuss. It should be coming up in our next episode, which should drop on the 30th. So I have no idea how long that episode is going to be. It may be a 1-part, it may be a 2-part, who knows? But I feel like it could go a long time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, man, our love for Scotties goes so far back, and I am so excited over this. I mean, we've had some awesome guests. We truly have had some remarkable guests so far in the short time of doing this, and this could be a top threer for me for sure.
Yeah, and it's we have some exciting stuff that you and I have talked about that we're probably not ready to put out there just yet. But there's stuff coming from Flatstick Focus, and I know we've kind of teased some of that or hoped for some of that in the past, but I think we've got some really cool stuff coming to fruition. In the end of this month and into August that will really ramp up our production and what we're putting out there for you guys, because we enjoy doing this, and we're ready to get back to our normal schedule, having guests on, things like that. And I think this is going to be a great way to kick that off at the end of this month. So I'm really excited about that.
Same, buddy. Well, man, I can barely see you. So,
this
guys,
is crazy. Hey, everybody.
guys,
Thanks for hanging in.
I hope everybody has a wonderful British Open week or the Open week.
Open Championship.
I hope, man, I just hope it's a good one. I really do. I don't necessarily hope a certain person wins or loses. I hope it's a really good championship. We had a really good U.S. Open this year. Exciting, man. It came down to the wire, and I really like stuff like that. So I hope it's a good Open. But until next time, guys, keep the 3 putts to a minimum.
Yes, sir.
And we will see y'all later.
After dark. Later.
Later.